Good afternoon, Naveen sir. It's good to have you. How are you doing, sir? How has this
Uh,
lockdown been treating you, first of all?
New
Fine.
experience. It's new for us. We are not used to working from home and we are not used to this style of meetings. But I think
True, true.
over the last 1 month, we are learning the tricks of the trade.
Correct, correct. I think it's a whole new
Yeah.
domain for all of us. So it's been an honor meeting you so many times and having the opportunity to speak to you. But then now this is something because there are so many changes happening right now with the BS6 and cars models coming in and getting updated. So one of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
biggest models, the Corolla, is now out temporarily, perhaps. But coid you tell us more about its journey and the amount of
Yeah,
things that you've
Corolla is
done for the
special
brand?
for Toyota. Yeah, Corolla is very special for Toyota, and especially for TKM. When I remember when we started our Bombay office, that was the day when we had launch of Corolla way back in 2003, and it has lived through the journey until now. 2020 from 2003 to 2020, and it did sell more than 1,16,500
Wow.
units, yeah, over this period, and globally also it has sold
It's
much more,
definitely one of the biggest, yeah.
and it is an iconic brand for us, so from that point of view, and it lives through various generations, 8th generation, 9th
Correct.
generation, 10th generation, and way back in 2014 we launched the 11th generation, and then recently in 2017 we had a facelift. So I think people have loved the car. People have kind of, those who are the passenger car segment lovers, they did look at that vehicle. But yes, we had to take some harsh decisions, tough decisions, I would say. So this was one of them, and then we had to kind of free our capacity for more advanced technology vehicles to come into the factory. So that is one of the reasons why we don't have a Corolla to sell.
Right now, since you mentioned advanced technologies, Toyota have been leading the hybrid charge for many, many years now. Is there a
So
chance that we could see a hybrid? I mean, the Corolla has been a bestseller for so long. Do you see it feasible to get a hybrid model in?
see, in a global context, yes, there is a hybrid Corolla that is existing, and even the latest version, I think
Correct.
version the generation 12 will have a hybrid engine fitted to it. Hybrid has been a mainstay for us for a very long time, and we have been thinking about that as a sustainable technology to kind of solve the problems of with the fuel efficiency, environment,
Correct.
energy efficiency, carbon footprint, everything it kind of solves
All
without
in one.
kind of yeah, without having to ask for a infrastructure or those kind of things. And so therefore we have put our weight behind hybrids for a very long time, and we believe that that hybrids will be a solution to even India's energy and environmental issues. The question that you are asking me is about future products. As of now, it looks difficult because it's
Okay.
not on the anvil, and therefore I do not know how long we'll have to keep Corolla away from our brand stable. With a heavy heart at this moment, yes, it's not there for us to
So,
sell. Yeah,
in fact, I have a colleague who still got a 12, 15-year-old car running as good as new. So, he got to the office the
yeah,
other
yeah,
day.
yeah.
It is
There are
reliability is, of
issues
course,
like
one of, yeah,
sure.
reliability has
I
never been
remember
an issue.
before even yeah, even before we launched the vehicle, much before I still remember, when there used to be government trading houses selling out these ambassadors and others, old cars from the embassies and all those things. That's the
Right.
right STC, I think it was State Trading Corporation, that was given the mandate. And Corolla used to be a hot premium there also because people used to, kind of love it for the reliability factor. And yeah, so it has been a very popular car, and age does not matter for it. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. It's just a
yeah.
number. Another model that has actually not made it through is the Etios now. The Platinum Etios as well as the Etios Leva. They're very, very functional, very reliable cars, but unfortunately they haven't made it here. So did they actually create the
Yeah.
waves or the ripples that you expected and how did that happen?
Okay. The reason why we are not having the Ethos is mainly, as I said, linking it to the first thing that I said, that we are freeing our capacity for more advanced technology vehicles, and there are some product life cycle issues that we have to kind of make decisions. And this decision to kind of discontinue Ethos and Leva from the new car sale, we will be continuing to service the market requirements in terms of spare parts, and we have assured the customers that there is nothing they'll find lacking from our side. From a new car stable point of view, yes, we won't have the Ethos and Leva to sell. It has been a car which was special to us because when we introduced the car, it was made for India. That was
Correct.
one of the lead countries, and I still distinctly remember the I in the Ethos used to be a Indian
Correct. Correct.
Tika.
Indeed,
So that used to show us the kind of connect that the product and the brand wanted to have with India, and it did succeed to an extent that that the customers did like the product for its quality, durability, reliability. If you go to any airport, and especially Bangalore airport, and if you look around, you may not notice that that we are just a 4% market share company. It's
Correct.
like 80% of the vehicles at Bangalore airport are either a Toyota Innova or a Fortuner, or mostly a Etios or a Liva. Yeah. So these are issues that have been kind of, we have to take these decisions at various product life cycle stages. And therefore, even the Platinum, when it was introduced, as we had told you, that was something that we were very proud of, because our Indian engineers had worked on the car to kind of give it the refreshed feel. And it did catch the attention of the customer. And not only the taxi fleet and taxi customer, but also the private customers did appreciate the changes that we had been able to bring about in that product.
Right. Now that would make the Glanza and the Yaris your entry points to the Toyota brand. Now, are there any more chances that we'll see something below them, or can you say anything about that?
Well, at this stage, since we don't comment on future product strategy, I don't think so. I'll be able to give you any insights onto that direction. But as far as the Glanza and the Yaris is concerned, yes, especially the Glanza, it has been, I think, the first cross-badge product which has reasonably successfully established itself, and it has been able to kind of deliver volumes close to about 25,000 units by now. And it has also been able to help us build a certain credentials in terms of the same service stations that we have, the dealership experience that we have. And that was one of the differentiators that we wanted to kind of keep place in eyes of the customer.
Right.
And I think fairly successful, because the product is good, and it does catch the attention of the entry level, or the first upgrader from an entry level car to this
Definitely.
segment. So yes, it has been doing well. Yaris also, we've taken time, I think, but I think we are on the course of establishing Yaris into the categories that it ideally belongs to. And barring this certain stoppage that has come in, it was for the first 2 months of this year the only product which was showing continuously something like 83% growth over last year. You know, so we were confident about Yaris, and we did take many initiatives to kind of establish Yaris in the mind of the consumer. Main reason being diesel going out of that segment,
Correct.
or practically minimizing the diesel presence in that segment, made Yaris a natural candidate for the customer's mindset in terms of whether it should be, when it is only a gasoline car. So from that point of view, yes, Yaris did catch the attention and started getting the attention of the consumer. We are eagerly waiting that once this situation ends, we could restart the activities from where we left it.
Correct. Now the Innova and Fortuner have been segment leaders for as long as I can remember now. So there,
Yeah.
the Innova is already BS6 and up and running. The Fortuner is happening in stage, I believe. So that's already out. Bidadi is completely converted to BS6, the Bidadi plant.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
what there's a special edition, I believe, of the Fortuner now. And do we see another Fortuner coming in, or is it just the emission control equipment that's new?
Well, as far as BS6 Fortuner is concerned, it did come with the upgrade of BS6 upgrade that was necessary to meet the emission requirements. And yes, you're right. We were ready with this product a long time back. It was only a question of fuel availability, because diesel cars,
Right.
as compared to petrol cars, need fuel as a prerequisite for BS6.
Correct.
Otherwise, the exhaust emissions and all those equipments that are fitted on the exhaust side may tend to get choked and
Correct.
melt away. So those are severe things that we wanted to avoid. So we were kind of consciously mapping the fuel availability of BS6 across the country, and
Wow.
we did see that towards the uh, government has been very proactive, and oil companies also did give us a very clear indication of a roadmap.
Definitely.
Ideally, we would have preferred it to be coming much earlier, but having said that, at least the NCR, NCT regions where such kind of fuel was available made us confident to kind of upgrade the entire brand portfolio, like you said, by 27th of January, if I remember the date correctly. We started making all our cars. The last two products, which was the Innova and Fortuner, were also upgraded to BS6 from that day.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, and it's the most heartening thing for us was that once we launched these two products, we realized that in BS6 avatar I'm talking about now. Basically, what we realized is that the consumers, rather than being value seekers, typical value seeking Indian customer mindset, were looking at a much longer picture, and they
Correct.
were concerned about the resale price of the vehicle. And it was so heartening to see that that these two
Really.
products, despite BS6 competing with the heavily discounted BS4 in the market from competition, was able to kind of not only withstand competition but create its own place. And we did
Fantastic.
have close to a month waiting period
Wow,
when we did lockdown. Yeah. So
that
we're
is
still
great.
carrying forward those orders, and reaching out to those customers and keeping them engaged during this lockdown period.
Fantastic. That's good to know. I mean, sentiment is
Yeah,
important. And now on the
yeah.
same platform as we also have the Toyota Hilux. I mean, is a pickup truck in your portfolio consideration? Are you looking at a lifestyle product maybe?
Well, many studies keep on happening, and these are well, yes, you're right to say that this is the IMB series, in which IMB one, B, and two are nothing but the pickup, single cab, and double cab, and the Hilux is a very popular and a very sturdy product as compared to the in this IMB segment. And see, the point that we have to consider is about the value proposition, because maybe it's a good product for Thailand, where the consumer does not mind using the same car for functional as well as personal use. But in India, as you know, it's purely a functional vehicle. So the comparison, the benchmarks are different. So we have to kind of study those more carefully, and we will continue to kind of analyze these markets. No, not only for Hilux, but many other segments we keep on evaluating, and the value proposition that we can serve with our global lineup. In this, I think what is helping us now is currently the rule of 2,500 import of
Correct.
CBU, up to 2,500, where we would like to position ourselves in terms of technology leadership, because one of the intentions of that 2,500 rule also is to kind of showcase what all
Correct.
newer technologies can come at a much lower entry barrier price, because otherwise the homologation cost itself becomes a barrier.
Phenomenal. Yes.
And
Yes.
with the Japanese homologation being accepted, we are confident that that helps improving the situation in India also. So that 2,500 rule we like to fully use for the purpose of studying and bringing in models which actually help customers decide futuristic technologies. It's like a test market case. So those
Yeah.
things can be decided, and once the customer sentiment improves, then we can consider a step two of CKD assembly for the same.
So the moment you mentioned that, I mean, I was thinking LC Prado and LC 200, but then the Supra also surfaces. So maybe we can look forward to a lot of.
There are many products. Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. LC Prado and LC 200. Yes, we are in the process of looking around for suitable BS6 equivalent model in the global lineup, and I think we are very close to it. And so, if that happens, then we could be announcing those cars also in the near future. But as of now, the future is uncertain as to when. Supra, yes, people do ask us many a times why not Supra, but yes, I do understand it's a very cult kind of a status that it's developing
mhm.
slowly, and in this performance car category, this becomes a very important product to to have. But again, the questions about suitability, compatibility, even issues like you have to do a detailed analysis of the fuel, the kind of fuel
Correct.
that is available in this country, and you have to measure all the parameters of the fuel content, whether the engine is capable of handling those things, because these cars and these products are made for mainly for the European and the other markets,
Mhm. Correct.
where the quality parameters are different. It's not a question of higher or lower; it's a question of mixing various ingredients to make the fuel.
Right.
So that is where we have to kind of be careful, because we don't want a situation where the customer who pays a
Right.
decent amount of money to buy a car getting stuck somewhere. Yeah,
I think I've bothered you enough about future products, so let's just get back to our realities now.
no
The
problem.
COVID situation is something that has taken everyone by surprise, and we've seen a lot of CSR activities from Toyota. And how do you see yourself resuming the business slowly? I mean, factories are opening up internationally, but I think we are also on a way forward now.
Yeah, I think as far as Bangalore is concerned or Karnataka is concerned, they are opening up in a phase-wise manner, and they have given some 10 districts. Unfortunately, these are not the districts where manufacturing happens, and I think two or three locations out of these places is the only place where we have even dealership, because these are only
Okay.
small towns.
Right.
So, anyways, the government is taking its own course to kind of open up the economy, which is naturally the next step. Good balance between health and wealth that
Correct.
is to be maintained, which the government is trying its best. I'm sure they will succeed. And from that point of view, I think yes, once the regulations allow or the regulators allow us to start the factory, we would be in a position to kind of come back, because as of now, Ramnagar district where our factory is currently not included in those green belt, though
Okay.
the number of cases is not there, but for some exclusions they have made for Ramnagar district.
True.
That is one. And second is, once we open up, we have to be very careful about self discipline, managing social distancing, and all such parameters, so that we don't get into a situation where unfortunately anybody contacts this disease.
True.
And yeah, so from that point of view, we, as I said at the beginning, we are learning this new tricks of the trade of working from home. And I think we've mastered it quite a bit, and I think
I'm
we'd like
sure.
to
I'm
continue
sure.
this because it's a very efficient way of conducting. We in
Correct.
fact had conducted some dealer meets also during this period, which was very heartening to see that that all our dealers who otherwise may have travel restrictions, or not being able to come. uh, I did get my 99% of my dealer partners, and the balance 1% was actually struggling with technology to connect.
Right.
Otherwise they were also keen to
I'm sure they will.
to join. So there was a interest, and I think it was a very good exercise for us. And what I was telling the team is that why not continue this way? Because if you what is the good thing about this thing is the uh, COVID lockdown situation is that we've learned a new way to do business, which is
Correct.
much faster, much efficient,
True.
and much agile, to make ourselves much more agile. So we may be in the same factory, because we now shifted from the city office to the factory. But why do I have to travel half a kilometer to go to the main office, main building? I can just be sitting on my desktop and
Correct.
connecting with everybody who's present. And while observing the social distancing norms, I could be conducting the meeting in any which way. And I think that's a very good and efficient way to do things. And during this time, to answer your question on CSR, yes, the team has been working very hard to support the various government initiatives, such as police, medical teams, the local administration, and they have kind of gone out and supplied those hazmat suits.
Right.
3,000 over hazmat suits were
Correct.
supplied. They have provided food to more than 15,000 people. They have provided police with gloves, health officers with various
Protective
PPEs.
equipment. Yeah.
And the best thing was using core strength of Toyota, that is, Toyota production system. There was a supplier who actually had received a government order to make those face shields,
Correct.
plastic face shields. And he was struggling because it was a large government order, and he was not able to kind of ramp up his production.
Okay.
And our engineers online supported him, studied his production cycle, online supported him, and kind of increased it to more than 5 to 6 times. From um,
Wow.
uh, 3,000 masks a day to more than 15,000 masks a day
That's a quick
is
turnaround.
the level that, yeah, yeah.
Very
And
good.
all this was done basically using Toyota principles, in terms of how to make sure that there is no excess work, or muda as we call it, unnecessary work which is there in the workflow. Eliminating that only, and then following the principles of Toyota production system, we were able to kind of do this. And finally, also, whatever was the contribution that was made by our own staff and our union members and the company, all put together, we did give a check of 2.55 crores to the chief minister also. Yeah, so that was another initiative that was taken. So all in all, we are We are a manufacturer which believes that uh, caring for the society is a way to kind of show your commitment to the society. And from that point of view, we have been very consciously working towards improving their conditions, including the neighborhood where we have our factory. So
Right.
this journey will continue.
Doing it the Toyota way. That's the best one of the best ways forward anyway. So, but I think that's all we have to. I think that's all answered. So
Sure,
thank you so much for
sure.
joining us, and I look forward
Thank
to
you.
seeing you soon.
Thank you, Jim.
Take care.
Sure, hopefully soon. Yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.